This is part 4, order blocks and order flows. On the previous parts, we learned about how to identify a valid pullback, how to map market structure, as well as identifying your trading range or impulsive move, and also how to identify the inducement on that trading range or that impulsive move. So in this part, which is part 4, we will learn how to identify these order blocks on that trading range so that now we can know where we can catch these potential reversals. Alright, so without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, first I will start with a diagram and then I will dive into the real chart to solidify or to reinforce what I have just explained. Alright, on this representation, you can clearly see that price has taken out or has grabbed this liquidity on this high. And obviously we said once that happens, this one here is a confirmed swing point. And once price reverses and breaks past this, then this one here is a valid break of structure. And obviously now this one here will be our high, and this one here obviously our low of that trading range. And we can all see that the trading range ranges from that high all the way to this low, and this one here is the impulsive move. This one here is the impulsive move. All right, to make it easy, let me delete this so that actually you can get to know that I'm actually on the impulsive move. So let's dive into identification of these order flows. Alright, so starting with this, obviously this here is a bearish scenario. So we'll all be marking the bearish order flow so that we make sure that we are trading on the trend or on the direction of the trend. Alright, so right here you can see bearish order flow. So this is the definition of a bearish order flow. The OF is abbreviation of order flow, just like you can clearly see on the heading right here, order blocks for OB and order flows for OF. Alright, so the bearish order flow is the last buying momentum before the rally down. The last buying momentum before the rally down. Right here, you will start mapping the order flow on the extreme of the trading range or the impulsive move. And this one here is the last, as you can see, the last buying momentum before the rally. We say that this is a bearish scenario, so we will be marking the bearish order flows. And right here, this here was the last buying momentum before the rally down, and that's the reason as to why I mapped this part right here as the order flow. All right, so right here I have identified that. Now you will continue mapping, or you'll continue marking these order flows until the end of the trading range. All right, so I can see right here after that, where's the last buying momentum again. Here, this is the last buying momentum again after the one that I've just marked. Where is the next one? All right, the next one is this one here. And then after that, where is the one that follows? Again, I can see another one here at the low of that of this trading range. So all of these are the buying momentum before the sell. You can clearly see this is the buying momentum before the sell, buying momentum before the sell, buying momentum before the sell, and exactly the last one right there the same. All right, now, so you have mapped all the order flows available in this case, but now how can we know which one to trade from, or which one is valid and which one is not valid? All right, in this case, you will only be considering the POIs that are unmitigated. And also, another thing to note, any POI or any order flow or any order block that comes before the inducement, here is the inducement, and this POI or order flow comes before this inducement. This one here, it's a trap. It's considered a smart money trap. Just like a car which needs fuel to move, also price needs liquidity. So we can say that liquidity is the fuel for price. So not until price takes out the liquidity, it cannot have the momentum to continue with its prevailing trend. And with that said, then this one here is the nearest liquidity, which is the inducement, and not until the inducement is taken, because we can clearly see at this high there is some liquidity, and that liquidity is what we call the inducement. And this liquidity is the one that is recent, that price is actually heading to take out before considering reversing with its continuing with its prevailing trend. So in this case, then any POI or any order block that comes before the inducement is actually ignored and considered a smart money trap or invalid. All right, when we get to the extreme right here, we can clearly see that there is a mitigation here. You can clearly see that this here is a mitigation into, or a mitigation back. As you can see, price rallied down and then reverses back, mitigating this order flow. So the order flow on the extreme is mitigated right here, but not until, like, how can we identify or how can we ensure that this one here is truly mitigated? You see this pullback that is diving into the order flow. We need to ensure that this pullback is a valid pullback. If it's not a valid pullback, then this order flow is still valid. Right now, so let's take a scenario where this pullback is valid. So this means that this one here is mitigated, and so if it's mitigated, then it's invalid. All right, diving into the next one right here, let's also pick this mitigation to be to be from a valid pullback, because you can clearly see price rallied down and then reversed back, mitigating the order flow. Yeah, so in this case, then let's consider this mitigation also to be from a valid pullback. Then this also means that this here is an invalid because it's mitigated. All right, the same now going into the next, you can clearly see now this one here, it's not mitigated. Right there, you can clearly see this is not mitigated because actually this pullback, it's down below this low, so price has not retested this order flow. So now in this case, we have only one order flow that's valid. So that's where now you will be looking forward to take the trade from. Right there, once price now has taken out the inducement, exactly right here, once price has taken out the inducement, then he will be looking forward to place the trade from there and actually target the external liquidity right here. Right, so now there is some scenario also price can decide to fail this extreme, even though this one here is the only one that is unmitigated. Sometimes price may decide to fail this. So again, how can you approach the trade, or how can you take that reversal? All right, now this is where the order blocks come, and also this is where now I come up with something else, that not until all order flows are mitigated or invalid will you use the OBs. So right now we can clearly see this one here, price has failed it. So I'm talking something like this. Price gave all right, I'm deleting the order flow. All right, right here, price gave a reaction like this and then reversed back, failing this order flow. So in this scenario, how can you approach in this scenario? How can you take that rally, or how can you place the trade? All right, now this is something else that you need to know. Like this order flow, or let's say an order block, is a refinement of an order flow. So in these order flows, there are order blocks right here. Sometimes they are mitigated, sometimes are unmitigated, and we say that if it's unmitigated, then it's valid, but if it's mitigated, then that's not valid. So in this case, you can clearly see this here is a order block, and finally also on this extreme, so you can clearly see the order flow is mitigated, yes, but the order blocks are still unmitigated. So in this case now, if price has failed this order flow as well as this order block, so where will you be looking forward to place that trade from? All right, so right here, price gave a reaction and then reversed back, failing also the order block. Then now, where can you take the trade from? Will you be taking the trade from this order block, or will you be taking the trade from this order block right here at the extreme? All right, now this is something else. Once you have identified all the order flows on the range, and you have identified this one here as the extreme, because there is no any extreme order flow up right here which is valid or which is unmitigated, and this one here was the only one that was valid on that trading range, and that it was the only one that is unmitigated. But right here, this order flow failed, and once you see such a scenario, now you will only be looking forward to take the trade on this extreme, like the most extreme order block on that range. It doesn't matter if this order flow is mitigated, this order block is valid. And note that I have not said this one here that is in between the extreme order flow. I didn't say this one, which is in between the extreme order flow and the extreme order block. It doesn't matter how many POIs are in between here, between this extreme order block, this extreme order flow and the extreme order flow. All the order blocks that are in between here are all invalid, or are all smart money traps, and you'll only be considering the sell from this here. So once you see a reaction from this extreme order block that is on the extreme, and make sure that the order block is unmitigated, then now you can take the sell from there. All right, now let's say such a scenario happened and price made that change of character. This means now we are no longer in a downtrend, and we are currently now in a uptrend. So this means also that our trading range ranges from this low and currently ending at this high. And we say that all the order flows, all the inducement, order flows, order blocks, all are marked on this impulsive move. You should never map the inducement or the order block on the corrective move. All right now, so this here is a bullish scenario, and we say that since we want to be going with the direction of the trend or trading with the direction of the trend, because it's always the best idea, then we'll be marking the bullish order flows. And right here on the definition, it says that a bullish order flow is the last selling momentum before the rally up. So right here, the last selling momentum before the rally up. So if I start, and we say that we are starting from the extreme, let me change this color so that you can differentiate with ease. All right there. So this here was the last selling momentum before the rally up. As you can clearly see, I said that we are starting from the extreme. So the last selling momentum before the rally up. All right, I know you're asking me, isn't this now the last selling momentum before the rally up? All right, I mean this one here. This one. Isn't this the last rally down? Or yeah, this one here. So isn't this the last selling momentum before the rally up? All right, if you clearly see, if you all right, if you can clearly see, you will notice that this, whatever you've marked, is engulfed inside this bigger order flow. So this means that like in every scenario, don't use the engulfed things, not unless now price has broke past that high like this, not unless price done something like this where price broke past that high, so then you can do that. But if it was engulfed like on the previous scenario, like this, then you should ignore that because it's not right, and you'll pick the one that is like the whole selling momentum, not this, the one that is engulfed inside the bigger one. Then after that, we said we go on to the next that comes right after this one here, which is this one is the last selling momentum before the rally up. Again, you go up right here, the last selling momentum before the rally up, and we say that we don't mark this one here because price has not yet even taken the first liquidity, which is the inducement. So we trash that because that's a smart money trap. Any reaction from that should never be considered valid. All right, then the inducement, and right here. All right, so now in this case, we have got 3 order flows, which are all unmitigated. All right, and we say that all order flows need to be unmitigated to be considered valid. But now in this case, all the order flows, 3 of them are all unmitigated. All right, so now which one here is valid, which one you should you consider to trade from if you see a reaction, and which one should you ignore? So actually that's what I'm talking about. All right, so in this scenario, now here comes another thing that I want to say, that in a trading range there can only be a maximum of 2 valid POIs. Yeah, like a maximum of 2 valid POIs right here. There can only be a maximum of 2 valid POIs in a trading range. By a POI, I mean an order flow, or I mean the order flows or the order blocks. It depends with what price gives on that trading range. All right, so exactly right here, all the order flows, like in this scenario, all the order flows are unmitigated, meaning they are all valid, right? But which one should we consider placing the trade from? All right, now in this case, the order flows that you should consider placing the trade from in this scenario is this one. The first one, obviously, without even thinking, the first one is the one that is unmitigated and it is on the extreme. This one here is the first one, and the highest probability. Again, the next one is the one that comes right after the inducement, which is this one here. Any order flow apart from the two, I mean the ones that are in between here and the ones that are, yeah, the ones that are in between here and this one here that comes before the inducement are all considered SMT. It doesn't matter how many order blocks. It doesn't matter how many order flows are appearing in between there, between this one here that comes right after the inducement and the one that is on the extreme. It doesn't matter how many order flows are unmitigated in between this place or this space, all are considered smart money traps. There can only, I repeat again, there can only be a maximum of 2 valid POIs. In this case, now it depends with what the trading range give. Is it the order flow or the order blocks? In this scenario, the trading range gave us the order flows, and like we said, not until all the order flows are mitigated. In this case, the reason as to why I am starting with the order flows is because of this, which I recently said it somewhere as I was actually continuing with the right here, that not until all order flows are mitigated or invalid will you use the order blocks. So by invalid, I mean they should be mitigated, like all of them should be mitigated. In that case, now let me make all of them mitigated like this. So now in this case, which now is like all the order flows are mitigated, and so where will you be looking forward to place the trade from? Right. So in this case now, when all the order flows are mitigated, you should now be using the order blocks. So then this means that the order flows are primary and the order blocks are secondary, because we cannot use the order blocks if the order flows are unmitigated, or if there is an order flow on the range that is unmitigated and comes after the inducement. So this means that now, since all the order flows, as you can see right here, all the order flows are mitigated. In this case, this is mitigated. Also, this one here is mitigated, and also the one that comes next, it's also mitigated. So in this case now, oh, all right, this one here is not mitigated. All right, I need all of these to be mitigated, so let me make it mitigated. Yeah, so it can become something like this, and this one here is the inducement. All right, and yeah, so now in this case there is no any valid order flow. So now when you see such a scenario, when all the order flows are mitigated, now it's the high time now to jump into the order blocks, or to start identifying the order blocks. And so right now, because I said that the order flow, it's a like the order block, it's a refinement of the order flow, so it will be somewhere right here. So this one here is the order flow again, and I mean that's the order block. This one here another order block, and then on the extreme another order block. All right, so here something like this can happen, that can clearly see an order block somewhere there also. All right, so in this scenario we have got 4 order blocks. So which one will you consider? The same happens, because this like remains the same. There can only be a maximum of 2 valid POIs, and by POIs it depends with what the trading range has given. In this case, the trading range has given the, or the in this trading range, the order blocks are the ones that are available, or are the ones that are valid. So now then in this case, the same happens. Like I said, without even thinking, the one on the extreme is always the first that is valid, and then the one that comes right after the inducement, which is this one here. And I said all that come in between here then are all, like all of these are all SMTs. And also the one that we say that we ignore automatically without even marking it is the one that comes before the inducement. This one here we ignore automatically. So these are smart money traps, and this one here, the one that comes right after the inducement, and the one that is on the extreme, that's the valid POIs, or the valid order blocks, and these are the ones that you'll be looking for to take the trade from. So if price fails this first one, then you will be looking forward to place the trade from this, the extreme one. And by the way, this order block that comes right after the inducement is taken out. This order block is called the decisional order block. The decisional order block. And the one that is on the extreme, of course, it becomes the extreme order block. Alright, now on the next part, we will get practical by diving into the real chart. So if you made it this far, I truly believe that you have enjoyed. So drop a like, and see you in the next part.